Hey, what's up, guys? So, I got a neat little video to share with you today. Most of you have been following me for a long time. They've seen this replica Robert the Doll here in my collection. I've done other reviews on other pieces, and some of you have been really observant and seen this replica Robert the Doll sitting in the background. I've even had a few people comment and say, wow, what's the deal with that? You're going to do a video on it. And for whatever reason, guys, I just haven't done a video. I've had this replica Robert for probably at least 2 years, maybe even longer than that. And to be honest with you, it is one of my favorite pieces in my entire collection. It's a custom piece. Um, and I want to give you a little background, some origins on it before we get to the book here that I have, the scrapbook. What happened, guys, was I like creepy shit, guys. You know me by now. I do a lot of research. I you I like oddities. I look into paranormal type stuff. I government conspiracy theories, aliens, UFOs, horror, serial killers, anything that's creepy in nature, guys, kind of, piques my interest. So, a couple years back, I, you know, wanted to try and bring my horror collection to a different level. I wanted to start bringing in some custom made pieces. So, what I had done was I found a person on eBay that was making custom horror type stuff, real weird oddities. And I contacted this person, and sure enough, started talking to this person. Her name's Ivis, and she is the owner operator of Summerdale Avenue on Instagram. Although I don't think it goes to her page anymore. I don't know if she changed her name. I haven't spoke with her for a while now. But at any rate, I asked her, commissioned her to build me some, several different horror props and oddities within the past few years. One of which was my custom-made Annabelle enclosure, just like the one in the Warrens Museum. That was one commission I did. Turned out fantastic. And then another commission I did was a Heart of Dimbella, which is referenced a bunch of times in Child's Play movies. It's a voodoo replica item she made for me. She also made some vintage type children's toys that were, on the 50 most creepiest children's toys list, which was called Mr. Buttons dolls. I have a few of them that she commissioned for me. I mean, the list goes on and on, guys. She actually, we've been dealing with each other for a while. But this was one of the last pieces that she commissioned for me, which is the Robert the Doll replica. I actually contacted her when I did my own research and learned about Robert the Doll, the haunted doll, and told her what it was all about. And she actually was a little creeped out. She says, "Why'd you ask me of all people to build this for you?" And I said, "Well, you've been doing all my other builds. Why not this one?" She says, "Well, it's just funny because, I live in Tampa, Florida." I think she lives in Tampa. She lives in Florida. And the real Robert the Doll resides in East Martello Museum, which is in Key West, Florida. Not too far of a distance between where she lives and where the actual doll is. So, sure enough, she never even heard of the doll before, so she did her own research and she took on the challenge. She says, "Yes, I'll be happy to, do the build for you." We worked out a price, and she had called me or messaged me and said, "I want to get exact measurements and everything like this. I'm going to actually take a trip, a little short little family vacation over to the East Martello Museum and see the actual Robert." And I thought it was a great idea. I said, "Yeah, it's cool." Well, long story short, guys, she actually finished making the doll before she got a chance to go away. So I suggested, well, since you're finished the doll, why don't you hold on to it a few more days rather than shipping it out to me, and see if you can take the Robert replica in to the museum and see if the museum workers will let you take some photos, and things like this. And she said, okay, I can't make any promises, but I'll try my best. Sure enough, guys, she went in. The people that worked there at the museum were really cool. They let her bring in the replica Robert, and we got some. She got some very cool side by side pictures of the replica, along with the real Robert in the museum. And then she put together this really cool scrapbook for me. So, guys, it turned out really well. And then, sure enough, she sent me the Robert the doll with the scrapbook. And let's get to the scrapbook now, so I can show you exactly what she put in it, and go on from there. Scrapbook, guys, which is very cool. I didn't even ask for this, but she did it anyway. I would have been happy with just the doll, but this was just amazing. So here's the front of the book here. I love her handwriting, guys. She kind of got this, Archie's signature-y, it's just so cool looking. She's just a great artist. In many ways, guys. So her Instagram page was Summerdale Avenue. I don't think that's correct anymore, because I haven't talked to her for a while, and I tried doing a search and it doesn't come up anymore, so she might be under another name. There's a photo of Robert. Okay, Robert the doll. And guys, sometimes I get a little confused I'm looking at mine right now, sometimes because she made it to the exact specs, guys. So literally you can't tell the difference between the two. There's a chalkboard in the museum where you can write the messages to Robert, and she wrote the horror stash. Hope I can do you justice. So I'm sure a couple people that day before it was erased were able to do a search and maybe find me on Facebook or YouTube. Little excerpt down here, little comment. Chucky isn't real. Jason isn't real. Freddy isn't real. Robert the doll is real. Okay. And this is such a cool book she put together. There's a big, large photo. Guys, and this book is kind of sensitive too. She did put some personal things in here for me. So if I see something like that, I'm just going to skip right through it and just turn the page real quick. Here she is with Robert, and here she is with my replica on the left here. Sorry for the glare, guys. On this side is another photo of her with the replica holding the pen. She signed all the photos, guys, which is pretty cool. Oh, and also, guys, to let you know, the museum was really cool. They were able to give her printouts and copies of different documents related to Robert. Here's the actual copy of the record of donation when they donated Robert the doll to the museum. Very cool, guys. Then on this side, here's a Key West brochure and some other, information there. There's the front of the Fort East Martello Museum. When she was there, she took a picture of the front of the building. Some more documentation on the Art Historical Society pertaining to Robert. And on this side, she has a receipt in here for something she bought. Might have even been this pen here, I'm not sure. Okay, it says for Robert security, please do not touch or put anything on top of the display. Okay. Anatomy of a haunted doll. Basically, here's the Robert, the actual Robert in the museum, and then on this side is this schematics. It's got everything from the size of the feet to the weight of the doll total, um, the distance between the ears, chest size, waist size, and guys, she made my replica Robert exact measurements as the legitimate one, the original one. Exact measurements are the exact. I know this because I kind of measured and took my own measurements and everything. Plus, she had told me about that. Um, okay, guys. Here's some more um, schematics about the ears, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the hair, the uniform and fabric and all that. I mean, guys, she went above and beyond. Like I said, she kind of, you know, even at the museum, guys, while she was there carrying around the replica Robert, which, the museum was so cool to let her come in with it, and take photos and everything. I mean, a museum could have, sure enough, said no, you can't do that, but they said no, it's fine. And another patron there that day actually offered her a couple $1,000 to buy it off her right then and there. And guys, I paid nowhere near that, but she was honest and kept, and said to the guy, no, I made this for a client, and she basically told me no amount of money she would have sold it for. She gave it, we had a deal, and she made it for me, and that's where it ended up here, right there. So here's some more anatomy of a replica Robert. This is the replica here. This is all the measurements she took and put in the book. The clothing, where she got all the material and all the different different stuff she used to do the build. Origins of the doll. Here's some old let's see, advertisements. Okay, guys, here is let's see, Robert Otto. I think that's Robert's dad. Yeah, so this is Gene Otto. This is he's grown in this photo, but this is the boy that owned Robert. Here's his grave site there, gravestone, and my replica visited his grave there. She also went to the artist's house. She went to Otto's house and took a tour of that, where the original Robert was in the attic for so many years before it was donated to the museum. So she took a tour there. It's rumored that the house is still haunted. Here's some more information. There's a lot of information. Here's information she put together of the home, and took some photos of the home and the stairs, and was able to put it in a scrapbook for me. Very cool, guys. Looking at this book just makes me feel like I'm actually there at the home and at the museum. Okay, just kind of flipping through. Here's some photos inside the home, and some photos from some internet clippings too of the inside, where when Robert was up there at the time. Okay, there's Gene Otto's photo right there, and then this kind of headline says, "Deaths, Eugene Otto dies." Okay, and it's got a whole article there. Some more information. You could sit here and read this scrapbook, and you could probably spend about a good 45 minutes reading through everything. I'm just kind of flipping through it. Um, One of the things that was always said was be careful of the objects that you possess, or one day they may end up possessing you. That was one of the one of the comments made. There's some more information. Here's a note from her to me about some of the pictures and photos she took. Okay, here's the Gene Otto's grave site. Some more information. Oh, she also, by the way, guys, she also dealt with, spoke to David Sloan. He's a paranormal investigator who wrote a few novels and books, and did some documentaries on Robert the Doll. And she actually contacted him a few times to get some information from him. And so it was like a big research going on, guys. I even had the pleasure in speaking with him once or twice. Actually, to the right of my replica Robert, there's 2 books in a shadow box that are actually signed copies of that David sent to me. And he knows that I have this replica Robert, and he even commented in the one book, hopefully your Robert stays put, or something like that, as a comment to the paranormal end of it. But here's some more photos. Some more photos there. Okay, this is 2005. Dear Mr. Otto, happy 101 birthday. Some more photos. Here's the classic. This is my favorite one, guys. Here's my replica sitting next to the original Robert at the museum. I mean, you can see, guys, you cannot, it looks like a mirror reflection. You can't even tell the difference. Just so cool. She put the meeting between the 2 Roberts. Okay, so there you go. There's some more photos. There's a photo of the replica Robert sitting on the back of her car getting ready for the trip. There's another photo down here. Hopefully you can see it. The replica Robert on the floor, and then the original up top. Same deal here. Here's the replica outside the there's a sign say ghost grave whatever. Here's where she wrote, "Thank you, Casey, Somerdale Avenue, the horror stash," with the replica Robert there. Here's some kind of ghost stories that she printed out that people were putting, and some comments from Mr. Sloan, David Sloan. And then here's a large photo of my replica with Robert Eugene Otto's grave site. That's actually on my frame as well, on my frame down there on the floor. I did the meeting of the 2 Roberts and the gravestone. And then here's a whole bunch of other photos that she didn't put in the book, or doubles. Okay. Very cool, guys. And then, a note. Well, there you have it, guys. There's the book right there. Now, let's get back to Robert for a little bit, the replica. Notice I keep saying replica because, guys, I do not want to say that this is the original. This is not the original. This is a replica. The original is in the East Martello Museum in Key West, Florida. This is just the replica that I had commissioned. So let's try and get a closer look, guys. Alright, so we're still recording, So there you go, guys. You can see the face with the black button eyes, you know, and the deterioration of the holes on the face. She used the same type of material. The uniform is an old children's sailor's uniform. The shoes are like those type of shoes they wore back in the day, back then. Okay. They said it's got the antique chair and then a little antique footstool. Here's the books, guys, that David sent me, David Sloan. One of them is called Ghost of Key West. I forget what the other one's called, but they're both signed, made out directly to me, which is really cool. Like I said, I shadow boxed it, framed it behind Robert, Replica. This is actual t-shirt from the museum. I bought this online and then shadow boxed that. Depicts Robert sitting there. And guys, the stuffed animal is the only thing that really doesn't look like the original Robert, because that's more like, you know, it's a different shade of yellow. It's more like a lion. But, you know, this is still cool nonetheless. If I ever come across one that looks a little bit more matching, I'll get it. I haven't really looked, to tell you the truth, because I'm fine with the way that stuffed animal is, that replica Robert's holding. Guys, you see I do have a crucifix hanging on this replica Robert. There was some talk about when I got this Robert that maybe some of the energy may have been attached to, you know, this replica Robert. So what I did was I kind of just, you know, put the crucifix on there. I don't need any kind of negative shit coming in the house here, guys. So, you know, I just kind of threw that on there and never took it off. I'm very superstitious when it comes to stuff like that. And then here you go. Here's the custom frame of, you know, the replica Robert. Down below here, here's the two Roberts meeting at the East Martello Museum. And then here's replica Robert at Robert Jean Otto's grave. And then over here is just a brochure saying Ghost of East Martello. Over the years, the stories of the people who struggled to build this island city are slowly disappearing from our collective memory. They have become but ghosts of our past. Okay, see it, guys, there's the actual line that, you know, Robert's holding. You can tell it's more yellowy and the eyes are bigger. It's a little bit different looking. But guys, and then over here, I went a little Robert crazy. You can see down there, I have a little Robert stuffed animal down below. And then I even have a Robert figure over here on the left here. But guys, I hope, you know, this video, I hope some of you guys have been requesting me to do this for a long time. I hope this, you know, satisfies you. This is probably one of my favorite pieces in my entire collection. Like I said, it's not store-bought. It's custom made, commissioned. She, you know, the builder, the creator, the artist, she told me that she would never create or build another one. She said, you know, this was the only time that she would do it, is for me. So even if you were to find her online and ask her about it. I don't believe she will build you one, but there's maybe people out there that might. But I'm sure this is the last one that she'll ever build. And it was a good experience for her. She was able to take her family on a trip. And you know, guys, this is one of the most creepiest pieces in my collection, just because of the background of it. To be honest with you, when I got it home here, I was a little bit freaked out for a couple weeks until, you know, I realized everything was okay. But you know, things like this, you never can tell. Like I said, I talked to David Sloan, the paranormal investigator. Talked to him several times, and you know, he was able to send me those books, and you know, it was a good experience for me too. I learned a lot. And I've even been offered some money to sell this, and I'm not selling it, guys. I even had a very good offer to sell it to somebody, and I turned it down because, guys, I commissioned it. I had it, you know, built specifically for me, for my collection, and you know, that's where it's going to stay. Kind of my replica Robert's corner over here. You know, he's been sitting here for probably 2 years now. I haven't moved him once. So that's all I have for you guys. I'm glad I was finally able to put this video together for you. I know a lot of people, like I said, have been asking me when they see the replica Robert in the background of some of my reviews, and they've been asking me, you know, to do a video on it. You know, and I had some time today, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to just put together a video and satisfy the you know, YouTubers there. So there you go, guys. Feel free to, you know, drop some questions below or whatever, you know, comments. I'm always happy to read them. And yeah, there you go, guys. Replica Robert the Haunted Doll in the horror cave at the horror stash. Alright, guys, I gotta run. I gotta go cut the grass. I gotta, you know, do some shit. But I'll catch up to you next time and see you next video. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't do it. Robert did it.